For this lesson, we will be evaluating algebraic expressions, and these, of course, will involve integers. So we're going to evaluate for the given values. Remember, whenever we evaluate, essentially I'm replacing x with the value of x and replacing y with the value for y. And it's a safe bet to always replace them using parentheses. So this is 3, x is 2, so parenthesis 2 squared, and then minus 2, parenthesis, negative 3. So the first step is to replace the variables with the values that they give me. After that, I'm going to evaluate using the order of operations. So for the first part of my expression, 2 squared would be 4. And 2 times negative 3 would be negative 6. Now this is where you have to be very, very careful. If you don't KFC on this question, which I would highly recommend, keep, flip, change, this tells me that I actually have a plus here, and it's negative 2 times negative 3, which is positive 6. So a lot of people miss that and get the negative 6 because they put the minus sign and then they multiply to get a negative 6 and they forget, am I supposed to have a positive or a negative there? Again, I'm going to continue using the order of operations. 3 times 4 is 12. All positive nice numbers now. 12 plus 6 is 18, and that's my solution. This one's a little bit more complicated. So I've got a negative on the outside of an absolute value. I'm replacing y, in this case, with 3. I'm replacing x with 2. And I'm subtracting a negative z, or a negative 6. Again, I've got the opportunity here to leave, change, opposite, or keep, flip, change. I highly recommend doing that. Within the parentheses, within the absolute value, I can take 2 times 3 to get 6. And 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2. Notice the negative is on the outside of the parentheses, so it's negative 8. So this negative came from the keep, flip, change. And then on the outside, I just have plus 6. Again, I have to completely simplify the absolute value before I can take the absolute value. So 6 plus negative 8 is negative 2. The absolute value of negative 2, I'm going to come up here, is positive 2, but notice I have this negative on the outside. So we talked before about the fact that that means once I've found the absolute value, I'm taking the opposite. So the opposite of 2 is negative 2, and negative 2 plus 6 is positive 4, and that's my solution. This is one for you to try on your own, and then press play to see how you did. I'm going to replace y with 2. I will replace x with negative 1 and z with negative 3. Notice I'm putting all of those in parentheses to help me out. Now on the outside, I can go ahead and evaluate 4 times 2, which is 8. On the inside, I really want to focus on this parenthesis and also this exponent. So I'm going to leave the 2, and then I have negative 1 minus 3. So negative 1, I'm going to leave, change, opposite, or keep, flip, change. I have negative 1 plus negative 3, which is negative 4. For now, I'm going to leave this as a minus. I'm going to evaluate negative 3 squared, so negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. I'm going to rewrite my 8. On the inside, I have 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8, minus 9. I guess I could have used parentheses at this point. Now I've got a subtraction, so I'm going to keep, flip, change. So I actually have 2 negatives. 2 negatives added together makes an even bigger negative. So remember, this is not multiplication where the 2 come together. So this would give me negative 17. I'm going to multiply negative 17 times 8. Again, try very hard not to use your calculator on these. So 8 times 7 is 56. Carry the 5. 8 times 1 is 8. And then plus 5 is 13. And my result should, of course, be negative. So my result is negative 136.